Here in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to deal with gym anxiety or feeling anxious at the gym. So, I'm not going to go into a long story in regards to my origins of gym anxiety, because we all have gym anxiety. We don't all have it. We all start off with having it, or can start off with having very neurotic feelings towards what other people might think about us in the process of trying to get better from where we are, in the process going from point A to point B, and then eventually to point C where you're content. Not really, you don't get content, and it's good natural bodybuilding, you get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you're like, how much bigger can I get? Alright, so essentially, how I initially dealt with gym anxiety was I simply told the voice in my head to shut the fuck up and keep grinding. No, it really is that simple. When you acknowledge that over 2/3 of individuals who are at the facility of a gym are not paying attention to you, make that even hell. I say 2/3 as if it's just 2/3. No, it's only like 4/5. They don't give a fuck about what you're doing. Unless you're either so cringe to the point of just like you're deep throwing the shit out of the goddamn cable rolls, whatever machine with like those Instagram thoughts, or you're like either somewhat extraordinary. They're seeing you do something that they've never seen anybody do before. Like for example, when I was deadlifting 449 at one point, and then like this one old lady came up to you, whatever, and said, "Wow, you're you're kind of strong," or like yes, several occasions that would happen to me where I would just do a certain movement and people would just be like, "Yo, how the hell how are you able to do that?" So that's a compliment. So either you guys would be really, we're not really good, but because I don't see myself as exceptional, extraordinary, anything special. I'm simply just in it for the long haul, and I do it to pretty much just get myself in a manner that I can see myself in 5 to 10 years, right? I love this shit. But either you have to be either somewhat good at what you're doing, or really bad to the point it's just like you're cringe, you're like causing a whole spectacle. And so for the most part, no one gives a damn about what you're doing at the gym. So why the hell should you be neurotic towards your feelings or neurotic towards what people might feel about you? Also, in regards to life, this all comes back to life because gymnasiums, lifting facilities, it's not a video game, it's a reality. Whether you're going in for a job interview or whether you're in an office setting, whether you're in a blue-collar setting, people are going to have certain opinions of you regardless of what the hell you do. Appeasing other people is a waste of time. Living for other people is a waste of time because people are always going to have certain feelings about you that you cannot personally control. You cannot control whether or not other people like you. If you try to live for others, you try to live for the validation of others, you're going to be a miserable motherfucker. You simply are. You're gonna be the guy that ends up being in his a certain age group. You're gonna buy this certain thing and consume a certain product all because the cool kids are doing it, or all because you wanna have this temporary sense of validation, external validity from other person of how they feel about you. You wanna be part of the cool kids or part of this it crowd, or even impress strangers on the street. And it's crazy how consumerism and neuroticism relate. Consumerism and neuroticism relate in that fashion. They derive from a sense of insecurity. And this insecurity, we all have insecurity. But this insecurity should be an insecurity that if you get rid of it initially, the sooner you get rid of it, the better you are without it. Being neurotic in the gym and being insecure towards what other people think about you, the second you're able to just do away with all that, and you can make those grimacing faces like I love doing. Like I remember at one point, I was afraid of grimacing in front of women. Oh man, they're gonna think I'm ugly. My guy, nobody gives a fuck. All right, you're sweating. You have sweat stains dripping on the damn bench. You're sweaty as hell. They're walking in. They don't know how to train as well. Like they're still figuring certain things out. Stop worrying about it. Unless you're yelling like Ronnie Coleman, lightweight baby, and that with a peanut, then you're gonna draw some really big attention into you because holy shit, like those guys don't really give a fuck, bro. But there's something to be said about those guys that I do admire. It's their willingness to simply just live for themselves and matter like they're that comfortable. If a gym allows screaming and grunting to that point, and they do it because we used to have a guy at the gym who would always scream and grunt, and everybody would smile whenever you would walk into the doors because they're like, yo, we already knew we're in for a treat. He was gonna fucking slap 4 plates on a goddamn flat bench and fucking and fucking rep that shit out. He was gonna get that 2 1/4 rep, right? And that last rep he would almost die in. And there's miraculously, like, he would somehow muscle up the energy and strength to just fucking hoist that over his sternum. And it was just so, it was marvelous. Every time watching him train, like, it was marvelous, because you're like, yo, is this gonna be a day where he gets fucking hurt? Because this guy would max out every goddamn day. Like, he would just go RPE, like, RPE nothing in the tank. Like, this guy would not give a fuck. And it was awesome to see him train that way. But then again, like, I fear for his safety right now, because I haven't spoken to him in a long time, so I hope he's doing well. I hope you're doing well, dude. If you ever watch this video somehow, because I'm not gonna dox my real name, but if you ever watch this video somehow, know that you inspired me a lot. You inspired me a lot. But as far as everything else is concerned, like in regards to being neurotic at the gym, having certain feelings of insecurity, you need to let go of these things. Life is far too short to live for other people or worry about what Joe, Schmo, Rebecca thinks about you. Rebecca's trying to worry about, you know, like she's worried about making a mean tabernacle sandwich or whatever the fuck Rebecca can cook, or, you know, Stacy's worried about, you know, her Instagram post, but then that's gonna get like 5 likes, and it's probably gonna get like 10 likes because, you know, you're like, oh my god, I beat my record. And Alex is over there worried about, I don't know, his TikTok reel, like, you know, like he's posting, you know, like his with his AVR sunglasses, whatever, and he's doing the Ziz pose and shit. Like, you know, Alex is a cool guy, but he's not worried about your, you know, the fact that you can only bench 135 in the actual barbell. And that's the other thing, whatever. Don't worry about your experience level. Even if you're someone who's relatively, like, you know, like a newbie, like you're fresh off the boat, you haven't done anything, you haven't done a single push-up in your life. Don't walk in there, you know, a $125 and just feel like, oh man, I suck. You know, we all start from somewhere. There are people who fail benching the 45-pound bar, and they feel really embarrassed. Yeah, that's happened to a lot of great YouTubers on this platform, by the way. Like, they start off really weak, and then they eventually just become monsters. And they're incline pressing fucking 325. You know, I'm looking at you, Goku Flex. Like, that guy's a monster. Like, he can, like, he was incline pressing a lot, whatever. This is a guy that failed on the flat with a 45-pound bar, and now he's a complete beast. But his recounting of that inspired me heavily when I was first getting into training, because you know, although I had some background into whatever, it was just basically calisthenics and messing around with 20-pound dumbbells that my dad had in the cut. That, you know, that in of itself built like a slim foundation, but I still had the voice in the back of my head telling me that, oh man, what's that person think of me? What's that person think of me? Don't give a damn about what these people think about you. It's not to say that if you have a job interview, you know, walk in with a fucking tank top, you know, AVR sunglasses and flip-flops or Crocs, like, nah, like, dress to impress, but acknowledge that your happiness and your purpose and your fulfillment to become the best version of yourself, all that shit is independent of what this person feels about you in regards to how your form is, in regards to how, you know, like your baggy sweatpants. It doesn't fucking matter, man. Just go out there and lift. That's the end of the video, guys. It's gonna be relatively short because I have nothing else to say. My brain can only articulate so many thoughts. Peace, guys.
Fatality.